Hello, everybody.
What's going on, everybody?
Welcome to Boomzies.
Boomsies. We're at issue 29.
Exactly.
Same time.
In sync.
All right.
Already.
Cool.
I like it.
Tonight on issue 29 of Boomsies, we're going to be having a special guest. We're going to be interviewing Norm, the gaming historian.
Over phone, which is great. And then we're going to be moving on to our main topic of discussion, which is emulation in video games. Kind of the wide range of topic that has caused a lot of drama in the circles of gaming.
Sure.
So,
and if you've never been to a Boomsies before, do you want to tell them what we are?
Boomsies is mass geek debate. We talk about everything and debate it in the geek spectrum, from music, movies, video games, TVs, graphics, and everything in between. We argue and debate about it.
Try to have a little fun, but it gets heated.
It does get heated. It does, but doesn't all the best fun get heated?
Yeah, something like that.
Hey, in the night. So, welcome everybody. Shall we go ahead and get Norm on the phone?
Let's go and call him right now.
Let's get him on the phone. Start it off strong. Let's see if he can help us.
Get him on the phone.
Yeah.
It's my headphones. I gotta hear.
You gotta hear it.
I can't hear. True. I play nice.
See if he can answer here.
Hello?
Norm!
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Not too bad. This is Brian, right?
This is Brian. Yes, sir. This is Brian, and with me, Landon.
Hey, man, how's it going?
Hey, Landon. Hey, what's going on, guys?
Nothing much. Just we're really excited to have you on the show. If no one's watched you, this is the gaming historian. I mean, you've done like a lot of great videos over like Sonic, Earthbound, and just had a new video out about Little Samson that just came out, right?
Yeah, it just came out yesterday, actually. But I haven't done a video on Earthbound yet.
Oh, you haven't done Earthbound? Oh,
no.
Well, you know what?
Well, he did an article.
Actually, two other people have it. Rue, Planet of the Grey Wolf, 16-Bit Gems did one, and Derek, Happy Video Game Nerd, did one. I'm gonna do one next week.
Okay, I see. I see. I messed up on that. Well, I had a question. Like, do you get requests of things you'd like people to have, like, topics you should cover?
Oh, all the time.
Okay, I was just talking about this with some friends of mine. Like, what do you know? What about like a complete, like maybe like a 2-part video of the history of Boogerman? Like the history, just like the whole history of the game, the development of it, like the creators, the music composition. I mean, for me, that's like when I think of video games and history, that's like one of the most in-depth topics.
Are you serious?
Yeah. No, Boogerman is one of those that you really. What do you think?
I don't know if there's enough. I don't know if there's enough substance to do an episode on.
I thought you were the gaming historian. Like, you can find out info about anything.
Well, I mean, I could do an episode about almost any topic, but the more you look into it, the more you're like, okay, well, are people going to be even remotely interested in this? And I don't think Boogerman has, besides being a disgusting game, I don't think it has any draw.
Okay, here. Okay, you haven't done Earthbound. Now, here's the thing you need to do, okay? Because you've had Rue cover it, you've had Derek cover it. Now, think about this. Now, something no one has covered in those videos that I think you should do is the sexual tension in the game between Ness, between the other characters, but especially Ness and like the aliens, because there's like some probing stuff going on there. There is like so many sexual overtones in that no one has covered.
This is really where you want to take this interview.
Yeah, I do. What do you think about that?
Are you serious?
Yeah. Come on, dude. That would be awesome. You can explain the whole history behind it, and I think it would be one of your best videos ever.
You realize like the kids. You realize the main characters in those games are like kids, right?
Well, yeah, but I mean, we shouldn't just ignore the sexual overtones that are put in there.
What's wrong with you?
I'm sorry. He says he's the historian, and I do all these history things, but like he doesn't even know these like very basic things. I mean, these like basic things that everybody knows. He's a sham. He doesn't even know what he's talking about.
Dude,
I'm sorry,
Norm.
Norm.
Bastard.
What? I'm sorry, but I just think you don't know what you're talking about. All right.
This is a little ridiculous.
What? Because I won't talk about the sexual tension in Earthbound?
Exactly. And you should. And prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
All right, I will. I'll prove you wrong. I'm gonna hang up now.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
all right. Well, fine. You know what? We didn't need him.
You're such an asshole.
We didn't
You're
need
such a
him.
dick.
We didn't need him. We didn't need him. He can't. He doesn't even know like these basic things. He doesn't know these basic things about video games. You know. I mean, these are basic things that like normal people would know about. You knew about this, didn't you, Landon?
This is the worst thing I've ever seen.
You knew about it, didn't you?
No, there's no fucking sexual tension in Earthbound.
Well, then you know what? You haven't read up on your articles. Yeah. You need to do a little bit more researching
you're a
on your
little
history,
ridiculous.
okay, bud? And when you research that, when you look through the history, and listen, there's some guys.
I can't believe you just wasted his time like that.
I didn't waste his time. You know, he's just fine. You know, it's fine. Okay. We'll you know what? We'll keep the show going on. You know, we'll keep it going.
Okay.
You don't think so?
Okay.
Come on. Let's just keep it rolling. We'll keep it rolling, okay? Here we go. All right. So let's Hey, it's Rue. Rue from Clan of the Grey Wolf. What are you doing here?
Shut the hell up.
Why don't you join us here, bud? Come on over. Come on.
So stupid.
There you go. Take a seat down there. There we go. See?
Hi, this is Rue from Clan of the Grey Wolf.
Gotcha.
I don't think so. I think that was
Yeah,
pretty. That was
I think
pretty.
that's pretty
that was
believable.
poor.
Was that? Did they believe it? I think some people believe in that.
No,
Yeah.
no way.
No way.
No,
I don't think so.
that's pretty.
It was a good try though.
pretty
I
bad.
think they bought it.
They totally bought that you're a sick bastard.
They do
That's
believe
true.
that.
That's true.
That is true. That is very true. So welcome, Norm. Thank you for joining us here on the show.
Left
Live.
Left-handed.
Left-handed driving out here. The
Yeah.
illusion is
Got
broken.
the RetroWare.
Yes,
shirt.
RetroWare TV.
RetroWare TV.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Joined here by Rue of RetroWare. So
Rue from Clan of the Grey Wolf.
Rue. Oh, he's like, wait a minute. I totally brought that by was being an asshole.
Yeah.
That's an
No.
easy assumption,
That's
though.
See,
amazing.
Samurai Sam, Brian has a Charmin fetish. See? He knows you're a sick bastard.
He does. Well, you know, what can I
And
say?
there's a rumor going around. You sent Charmin Fresh Mates to viewers of your show.
It's not a rumor. That's true. They were signed.
It's signed by us. Very
disgusting.
true. Signed. And Lando was involved in that, though.
I was pimping out Skyrim
and,
the
and
whole time.
Rue. And Rue was involved in it in a way, too, because he condoned it for his whole little thing he was doing. So
Can't believe I'm on this show.
all three were in this. So,
Terrible.
well, let's get right into what you've
Let's
been
do it.
doing this week. Let's
go.
Let's start off with our guest.
Okay.
What have you been up to this week, Norm?
I've been playing a lot of Super Mario 3D Land. It's on the Nintendo 3DS. It came out last year, but I just picked it up because I just got my 3DS, and it's a lot of fun. It's probably the best Mario game I've played since Mario 64. I can honestly say.
You can honestly say.
Yeah. Now, granted, I've only played Galaxy a little bit, but Mario 3D Land. The funny thing about Mario 3D Land is you have to beat it first for it to get good.
Get really
because you
good.
get all the special worlds, and then that's where all the cool.
So the normal
stuff
stages,
happens.
are they like all right, or
They're okay.
they're like-
It's really easy. The normal
okay.
stages. Yeah, and if you die like 3 times, they give you this golden Tanuki suit, and you're just invincible through the whole level.
Plus,
Can
you
you
still
fall?
have the abilities of the Tanuki
Yeah,
suit
you can
on top
fly
of it,
and
so
everything. It's,
Wow.
It's very handed to you, but it's still really fun. I loved it.
Yeah,
I had
it's
a
a lot
blast
of
with the
fun.
game.
A lot of fun.
So, but not as because I've heard some people saying it's just as good as Mario 3.
Not as
Not
good
as
as
good
Mario
as Mario
3.
3.
There are some parts where they got a little lazy. They rehashed some bosses over and over. The fights with Bowser, the fight with Bowser at the end is actually pretty entertaining, but
Yeah.
the fights with his little
cousins
cousins or his
and
sons
stuff.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Very
does he
repetitive.
have? They say he has kids.
Apparently,
Who would you think would be the mother of those kids?
He's asexual.
See, I can't remember if they're his kids or his like cousins or nieces.
Or nieces
or
and
something.
nephews.
They were from Mario 3. They introduced all of them.
Right. So that's the
Yeah.
question. Who are their fathers and who are their mothers?
Bowser probably gets around. He's the king of the.
Are you asking him to do a show on this now
I'm
too?
just asking, well, I'm just
Is that
thinking,
where this is
I'm
going?
just thinking Bowser's captured Peach a lot of times.
Yeah. Maybe he wants a motherly figure. I know
Wants a motherly figure, maybe that's it.
That was one of the backstories. If I recall, he wanted like a mom for all those kids. So
He did like an Angelina Jolie and adopted them all.
it looks like we got a question. Even on
Oh.
the hard stages, you're supposed to do it without dying thrice.
Thrice?
Yeah.
So even the hard stages you're supposed to do without dying thrice. Are you?
The special stages you don't get that golden Tanuki suit anymore.
Oh.
They take it away.
I think I read a fanfic about that once.
Yeah, see, Rue knows what I'm talking about.
Thank you, Rue, for...
I know you point out sexual tension in Earthbound, but there's a lot of sexual tension in the Mario series.
Really?
There's tons of it. I mean,
Like, for example?
Mario with Peach, Luigi with Daisy. Mario rescued Daisy. one
Wario
time.
with Waluigi.
Yeah.
What do you think Toad? Who... Is Toad like just like the black sheep, like no one ever wants... That's like five vodka shots kind of thing.
Toad is that friend you have around that nobody says, I don't really like that guy,
Right,
but he just
right.
comes along anyways.
Oh.
And it's fun in Mario 3DS when you go into his house, you can actually beat him up.
Really?
Yeah, you can like slap him with the Tanuki tail, you can stomp on him, you can jump on him, and he's like, oh, ow, oh.
And he just takes it.
He just takes it.
Kind of an S&M thing.
See, is it sexual tension coming up again? I'm telling you.
Wow.
So yeah, back
Great.
on topic.
Yeah, back on topic.
I've
What else have you been playing?
I've been playing Mario 3DS, but I've also been playing. The NFL playoffs are going on right now.
Right.
I'm a big sports fan, so they've come out with a ROM for Tecmo Super Bowl with the 2012 NFL roster. So I've been playing that a lot.
So yeah, you were telling me like they update the roster.
Yeah,
Kind of on top of Emulation, they update the roster every year.
yes, they update it every year with player stats, the teams, the logos, everything.
That's pretty cool.
It's very cool.
And you can buy it on an actual cart?
You can actually buy a reproduction cart, and
That's
you
pretty
can
serious.
play it on your Nintendo. Yeah.
For reals.
For real.
And it'll save and everything.
It'll save and everything. Yeah, and you can edit your roster. You can.
What? What's so
edit
funny? You
players.
didn't save.
You say that? Yeah, it's an NES card.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know if they didn't put the battery in it or something.
They've
you know.
invented this thing called a battery.
Oh, okay.
You can save your game now.
1989
I
technology.
didn't know. I
Yeah.
didn't know. So, well, sweet.
Yeah. Oh, Rue says go Heels. Yes, go Tar Heels. Rue is a UNC Chapel Hill
Oh,
guy.
really?
I went to Elizabeth City State, which is not. It's not Chapel Hill, but it's part of the UNC system. So we're all kind of
You're all together.
Tar Heel fans, and so we
Wichita State.
which
you know.
go Shockers.
Go Shockers.
Wichita
Which has no
State.
football team. But,
Yeah, that's
you
true.
know.
Yeah.
Bad history in that though.
There is some bad history. We won't talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Who's Norm's pick for the Super Bowl?
My original pick was the Miami Dolphins, but they didn't make the playoffs.
Oh,
So,
no.
I'm, you want to pick the New York Giants, but then you just think, it's the Patriots, it's Tom Brady.
What's about? Is it
now-
just nationalism? You think it's you trying to?
It's that
get
American.
shot?
It's that American pride.
America.
No, I think it's I actually did a simulation on Tecmo Super Bowl just for the hell of it, and it said the Giants would win 21-7, which probably
It's not gonna happen.
it's not gonna happen. But
So you're rooting for the Patriots?
no, I'm probably rooting for the Giants because my dad is a big Giants fan.
Okay.
He's from upstate New York, so I'll be rooting for the Giants.
A Norm or Landon? Who you?
Dude, I am beyond not involved in football
sports
at all.
I
But
like it. You don't pretend. You like just straight out admit it.
yeah,
that's
just-
good of you.
I mean, I don't care. I'll watch it for commercials. And
Yeah, the commercials
whatever.
are good.
So there's
is
already
true.
they've already leaked some that are some pretty entertaining stuff. There's that Volkswagen Super Bowl commercial I posted on our Facebook page. Volkswagen continues with the Star Wars theme stuff. So
I haven't seen it, but it sounds good.
yeah, it's on our Facebook page.
I should check that out.
You probably should.
Yeah.
Good idea. So what have you been up to, Landon?
For me, everybody knows I'm a big Final Fantasy fan. So
Really?
obviously, yeah, big surprise.
Huh.
Who would have known?
Wouldn't have figured.
So I had to go out. Final Fantasy 13-2 came out, and so I bought it day of. I had to get the collector's edition. I didn't get just the standard edition, so I bought the collector's edition for the PlayStation 3. This is one of the better collector's editions I bought in recent years. I mean, of course, I'm biased. I'll be the first to admit I'm very biased with this, but it comes with a little slip sleeve. But then on the inside is this little box here, and it's got kind of this soft touch. If you guys want to kind of feel that, it's not like a standard
wow.
box. It's got a nice tactile feel to it.
Feel that, Brian?
Ooh.
Yeah, it's actually pretty nice. Just quit. Get it away from there. Get it away from there.
I want soft touch.
It's
Yeah.
so soft.
I want the
So,
bad soft touch.
Yeah, it's not just the outer book is that way, but the inside book is that way as well. Nice soft texture here. Open it up. Inside you've got a nice concept art book. Not so many pages. I kind of wish there was more pages, but for what it was, I was very pleased. Flip open this side, you've got the instruction book and the game disc. But the kicker, on the inside, you've got 4-disc soundtrack with it.
Wow.
Which
That's just with the collectors?
yeah, just the collectors.
Wow.
Yeah, so worth it. I mean, the packaging with it, it's all super clean, very minimalistic, kind of just like Final Fantasy 13 did. So gorgeous packaging. I really enjoyed it. Beyond the packaging, though, I actually really enjoy the game. They've improved on vastly everything that people kind of complained about within 13 itself. The screen you've got there, those are your two main characters. Sarah, who is in Final Fantasy 13. This takes place 3 years after the events of Final Fantasy 13. Now you play as her and this other character, Noel, who is a time traveler. And it just follows their escapades in trying to save the world and the storyline. I don't want to ruin anything for anybody, but gameplay is, I mean, if you didn't like the paradigm system in 13, you're not going to like it in 13-2 because it's practically the same thing, although they did add in a system that's very much Pokemon-like, where as you're playing through, you've got your two main characters, those two, and then you can recruit monsters throughout the game. So you defeat them, and then kind of a random happenstance, they might turn into crystals, and then now you have them recruited into your team. You can train them, level them up. They all have different attributes, and you can use them within your paradigm system, which is extremely fun. And what really sold me on it, chocobos are awesome, and you can fight with the chocobo in this game. That's a
We're
selling
having a whole
point.
conversation about chocobos, like,
Yeah.
on the way here. Just like
Yeah.
gold chocobos and...
I was explaining to Brian about how to get a gold chocobo in Final Fantasy VII,
Because I'd never known.
and why you need to get a gold chocobo, and I couldn't believe he didn't.
I didn't know. I've still never, played more than, 15 minutes of Final Fantasy VII, gameplay-wise.
Well, and what's cool with this one too is there's not just one chocobo. It still has all the different colors of the chocobos, and they've got different level and attributes and stuff. So you can collect a gold chocobo, a red chocobo, different chocobos in this game, which is pretty cool. Other than that, I also picked up the collector's edition guide with it. I went all out.
No,
I went all out.
I'm surprised.
Is this soft and
Is this
velvety?
velvety too?
It's not soft and velvety, although it is. It's a hardbound book, but it's hardbound padded. So you guys can feel that. So it's not just your standard book. It's hardbound padded.
It's padded.
So it's just up the quality.
It's like a maxi pad for guides.
Yeah,
That's
so
right. That's right, Brian.
Just up the quality of it overall.
say
It's got
it.
the two purple ribbons in it for bookmarks.
Is 13.2 better than 10.2?
Yes, drastically.
Ooh,
Really? Okay.
I didn't like 10.2 as much. 10.2 was okay. I don't know. It's definitely not in my top 5 at all. But 13.2, awesome. I really enjoyed it. I'd recommend people if you didn't really care for 13, give this one a shot.
Worth
It's different.
$60.
I spent 80 plus the 25 on the guide, so yeah.
Worth $100+.
Yeah. For me.
$200+.
I'm biased. I'm biased. But I like it. Other than that, the other thing I've been doing this week, I've been reading Aquaman and Justice League comic books. Aquaman is actually cool now. Jeff Johns, arguably to me, one of the best comic book writers there are in the industry right now, is writing both Aquaman and Justice League, and he is doing some amazing things and making Aquaman actually cool. He's one of the most interesting and powerful people within the Justice League now. And it's kind of funny, in the first couple issues of Aquaman, Jeff Johns in the writing pokes fun at how people look at Aquaman. Everybody in the society in the world do look down at Aquaman and think he's not really that big of a superhero, and so he really has to show people that he is a badass, superhero, and just can do some really incredible things. So Jeff Johns knows that people think Aquaman is a useless superhero, and he uses that to his advantage in his writing. And you pick up the first issue and you're like, I'm probably not going to continue reading Aquaman, but by the end of it you're just like, I will continue to read Aquaman. I'm not ashamed to say that.
So Aquaman is awesome.
They have changed Aquaman, and he is cool.
What does he have? Does he have like?
I mean, he's the same guy. It's just better writing and better how he interacts and the stuff that he does. So I mean, it's like you don't really change core of what Aquaman is. I mean, he still talks to fish and he still uses sea creatures. It's just how he uses them. And
but he grew up from an aqua boy to an Aquaman.
That's right.
Yeah, whatever. But I mean, there's a scene in
That's the title.
yeah. There's a portion of Justice League, I think episode or number 4, number 5, where there's a swarm of enemies coming in, and everybody in the Justice League, Batman, Superman, they all look at Aquaman like, what's he gonna do? And then he just kind of, basically, speaks with his mind to the fish, and just like all these just huge great white sharks just come up and just rip apart everybody, just destroy all these enemies, and you're just like, all right, that was pretty cool. So, Aquaman is cool.
Aquaman is officially cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
I never thought I'd see the day.
Does he slap people with sharks? Answer the question. It's important.
No, he just destroys
He just
people
destroys
with sharks.
people.
Yeah, in a badass way. So I would recommend it. Check out Aquaman or Justice League. Jeff Johns, great writer.
Hi, Goddess. Welcome. It's okay that you're late. We still love you. So,
But also, if you're another drawing point for Justice League, it's actually drawn by Jim Lee too. So you got great writing and great art. So I can't remember the artist for Aquaman, but Justice League. Jeff
Justice
Johns.
League. Jim Lee.
Jim Lee.
Sweet. Well, this week for me, I've had 2 things. I had a special journey this week. Good friend of mine got a hold of a virtual on-cab for a sweet deal, and I helped him to load it into his truck and into his basement. And here's the thing. Here she is in all of her assembled beauty. That's not easy. That was about 500 pounds each machine. And so me and Sean are downstairs, and there's 2 guys upstairs. I'm just going to tell you, we got them downstairs with no issue. Perfect. No problems at all. They went down really good. I mean, it was
Did you have to
quick.
take them apart?
Are you
It
lying?
was
Or?
quick. No, it was just quick. It was just, there's no issues. They went down the stairs. We took perfect measurements, and they just went straight on down. No hiccups. So if anybody would have put a rumor out there that we had trouble and got stuck or anything, and we were down in the basement for a couple hours because we couldn't get upstairs because it was stuck in the middle of the basement, the top of the ceiling. I didn't want that to come out and people will say that happened. So I'm here to
Like that Charmin rumor going around.
and like the Charmin rumor. See, exactly. I'm here to squelch those rumors before they keep going on. So anyway, it's really cool, and they're getting set up, so I'm going to be definitely hanging out at his house a lot more. But the other thing I was up to this week was last night was our game night for kind of a get-together of gaming where we just get a bunch of folks together and we play games. And surprisingly, we didn't play Call of Duty last night. I was very
always
surprised.
had Call of Duty.
I had another TV set up ready for Call of Duty, but we did not. That 2-player pinball machine I have that I sold that I'm waiting for the guy to come get.
Yeah.
Was the big hit of the night. Everyone loved that game. But then we played some Pac-Man Versus. We played some Kirby's Air Ride. We played some Bomberman Online. We played some Neo Geo. We played some Sunset Riders. We played a whole lot of stuff.
Kirby's Air Ride.
Kirby's Air Ride, man.
Wow.
It's awesome.
Kirby's
Air Ride is awesome. All right? Pac-Man Versus, exactly. You know. And happy birthday, Samurai Sam. Exactly. So, but we also got to play some of that Resident Evil card game. The Namco Bandai Resident Evil card game. That is a fun game.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got to get it myself because we were playing.
Like $30 to buy, isn't it?
It's real cheap, and they have expansions. I think with all the expansions, they said it was like $80, which isn't bad. But we started playing at about like 1, and we didn't get done playing until about like 4 in the morning. It was really, like, we were having
playing
a fun.
a card game.
And we were having to rush, too, because everybody needed to get home, but you got to pick up that Resident Evil game, so.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all that's been up with me, so shall we move on to our first topic of the week, which is
This guy.
this dude.
This dude.
Right
Now,
here.
before we bring this up, we need to come out with your sexual harassment charges, Brian.
Oh, my sexual harassment charges?
Yeah.
Yes.
Brian has been talking to me on Gmail chat, telling me to get in a Tails outfit
Yes.
from
Yes.
Sonic the Hedgehog, and it's really inappropriate. It made me very uncomfortable, and I just want to come on the show and tell everybody I think Brian should step down as host of Boomsies amid these allegations.
So for all of the shit you say, you're a furry. At the end of the day,
It's true.
that's who you are.
Isn't that how it always goes? You know, it's always those people who are like, yeah, it's bad to be a pervert, and then they're the pervert. Right?
So will you please step down as
Give it up. Get the
I
hell
just
out
have
of
to say that
relinquish the seat to me?
I just want to say that I did not have further relations with this man. I can't step down.
See, Tanuki28, Brian will step down just like Herman Cain. Herman Cain
He did.
quoted the Pokemon movie, by the way. Did you hear about that?
He did. Yes.
Yeah. He's a video game lover.
He is a video game
Probably
lover,
not.
and I will quote Pokemon and say, "Gotta catch 'em all." That's my only response. Is gotta catch 'em all.
Probably the best thing you could say at this point.
You know, if further allegations are brought forth, if pictures are brought forth, then I will step down. Then and only then, when the proof is concrete.
You've already admitted it.
Well, Brian,
So
That's a small detail.
yeah.
it's fine because it's fine because I wanted you to dress like Big the Cat. So,
You did. You
So-
did. But see, I offered that.
He did offer
After
that.
I offered that, then I made it really awkward, and it turned from friendly joke into like awkward. Like, every time I would chat you, it's just like tails, 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 tails
Yeah.
the whole time.
That's right. He wanted me to start my own web stream.
And then I started referring to you as Tails.
Tails, yeah.
I called you Tails the Tate.
By the way, none of this is real. If anyone is wondering if this is real. or
Yeah,
not.
no, I'm not here enough to
Yeah.
grasp what's going on right now.
So, anyways,
weird.
do you want to kind of tell everybody, like, if
Yeah,
anybody's
tell
not
them who
acquainted
you
to
are.
you and the gaming historian?
If they don't know who you are, which, by the way, we were around some GameStops, and I was disappointed by the people who did not know who this guy was.
We did our GameStop tour and
We did.
said,
And it
"Hey,
didn't work out that great.
have you met Norm? Retroware TV gaming historian?" They were like, "No, can't say I have."
I can't say,
A little embarrassing. So
I'd watch porn with Brian as Big the Cat, and historian, don't know your name as Tails. Huh. We might make some money in this.
yeah.
I'm not.
So anyway, tell us about yourself. We got a clip of your show, your newest episode out.
Yeah, I just put it out yesterday. It's an episode on a little-known NES game that actually had a really good development team, a lot of ex-Capcom employees, and for one reason or another, the game just didn't sell well at all. It completely flopped, and it's a very collectible game now. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that game.
So,
So
yeah.
Little Samson for
Little
the NES.
Samson for the
yeah.
NES. And so you cover the history of video games. You do these expansive,
You
that
can say
word.
the same word in a row. The expansive experience.
I really like to drive it home, but you cover like the whole history of these video games, and not just and what you and I are talking about. It's not just like a Wikipedia article or something. You don't just like Wikipedia and you just spout that off. You actually do some because
No,
you are
yeah.
an historian. You really are.
Yeah, I graduated with a bachelor's degree in history. I'm currently going to go for my master's hopefully next year. But yeah, it was just something that I wanted to do while I was in college. That's when I started. You start learning about how to do research, and you love video games, and you love talking about them. So why not
Right.
just combine the two? You
Combine them
combine
into the two.
history, you combine video games. And I hadn't really seen any shows like that online. There was, I don't know if you guys remember G4 Icons.
Yeah, G4 Icons used
Yeah.
to do that. Yeah,
Very, very cool show.
but they stopped that.
They did, I believe. So I wanted to do something like that, and I wanted to put my own twist on because I like the TLDR versions, like too long didn't read.
Right,
versions.
yeah.
It's just like a quick history lesson. It has a lot of good information packed in there.
And so is that what kind of started you in this? Was just watching that G4 Icons, or what made you kind of decide I'm going to go ahead and do this?
It wasn't just Icons. I think it was. I mean, I watch History Channel all the time.
Right.
I watch, a lot of Civil War documentaries,
Right.
and World War II. I love studying history, and when you love video games too, you just want to combine the two.
Combine the two.
I didn't have any video experience, but it was something I wanted to try, and the reception was very good, so I just kept going.
Keep going on.
Yeah.
And so when did you start? How long ago have you been doing this?
I started the NES. The first episode was on the NES2, the top loader model. I chose that topic because a lot of people that were watching the Angry Video Game Nerd were commenting, "What is that?"
Right.
Because he has one and he uses it a lot, and they were like, "What is that? What kind of NES is that?" So I said, "Well, I'll just I'll ride his coattails and tell everybody what that thing is." And so that's how I got started. I started in late 2007. I finished the episode in early 2008. Released it. It got featured on ScrewAttack.com, and that's kind of when it blew up.
That's cool.
Got
From
started.
there, yeah.
Well, and of course, if you have questions for Norm, call us up on our phone, 316-778-0730, or Skype Boomsies. We'll see if we have a question. Lazy Kirby says, Gaming Destroyed was inspired by G4 Icons. Would you
partially
yes,
inspired,
absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, it's a great show. I would watch it all the time. G4 is not the same anymore, though.
No, yeah, someone said, when G4 used to be about gaming.
Yeah,
when you
exactly.
actually-
Now, cheaters, hey, cheaters.
Cheaters and cops. When I think of video games, I think...
Well,
now, I love cops,
Yeah.
but cheaters, yeah, it's not really video game related.
Mm-hmm.
Joystick related, maybe, but...
That's enough.
Yeah. Just always
That's
you bring it
enough
back.
of you.
Actually, funny, Cold Guy mentions the Dex episode. Cold Guy actually recommended I cover that topic, and it was... What's cool about my show is even I learn stuff. Like,
Right.
people send in topics, and I'm like, okay, what is this? And I'll look into it, and I'll be like, this is really cool. And I'll just research it even more,
Right.
and then I'll do an episode.
Because you're not, and that's and thing. I imagine some people assume with you doing this history thing, he already knows it all. And I mean, do you have people ask you like these absurd questions because he's the gaming historian, he knows it all, and you're like, well, I mean, I know a lot, but I just do what anybody would do, like when you're doing a research paper.
Yeah,
You research it.
yeah. One of my favorite quotes, my favorite professor said, you can't know everything about everything.
Right.
Yeah. And because he would have issues where students would try to just cover like too much stuff. And it's good to take it one thing at a time, I guess. You
Right.
know, I can't cover everything about everything.
So when you start up the thought of when do you want to do a topic,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you first research what topics you want to do, or do you have a topic in your head and then you just start going to find information about it?
It's really what I'm kind of like feeling at the time,
Right.
like what I'm passionate about at that moment. I've done an episode where I wasn't really passionate about it, and I feel the video suffered because of it. So I really just do what I'm into, and when I start it, first of all, whenever I do an episode, like if it's on a game, I'll actually play the whole game through, because I feel like if you talk about a game,
Beat it?
yeah,
Wow.
I beat it. Like if I'm going to talk about a game, I need to play it.
You
Right.
Understand
You
it.
know, and people will argue, oh, well, you're just talking about the history of it. Well, yeah, but you need to get an understanding of the game, too, I feel. So,
So now, are you being a historian? I could see how some people might want to kind of hoard items. Are you a bit of a collector, or do you not have a lot? How does that?
I did have I had a large collection a while ago, and then I moved to the Midwest, and I sold a lot of it.
Yeah.
And I haven't gotten the collection back up to that size.
Do you regret it, or are you just fine?
No, because you don't want your possessions to own you, I guess.
That's true.
So
yeah.
I had games that I didn't even care about. I just owned them.
Yeah.
So I cut a lot of the crap out, and now I just own what I want to own.
Right, you know what you're going to play. You have more of a lively collection because you actually play the things.
Yeah, and granted, I do have some games that I don't want, but I'm going to sell them. Just need some time to do it.
Right,
So
yeah, exactly.
Sometimes you find a lot on Craigslist, and you're like, oh, it comes with Lee Trevino's Fighting Golf, whatever. It's
Whatever,
It's
I'll
got
just
little
put that in the
Samson
sack.
in there.
It's got little
Yeah.
Samson. I'll buy. Yeah, exactly. So for games, I mean, some of them, you have in your collection. Do some of them you have to like, go on eBay or whatever, and you buy them, or do you?
Yeah, Little Samson I actually bought. I didn't buy it for $205. I got it a really good deal on eBay for about $100.
Nice.
I knew I wanted to do an episode on it because I just actually we're going to talk about this later.
Yeah.
Emulation, but I actually played a ROM of it and I was blown away. So I wanted to
You had to
actually
have a
own the
real
card.
deal.
Yeah. So
Nice.
yeah, sometimes I will go out and buy what I need to do, like the Dex drives. Cold Guy recommended that, and
Oh, we're getting a call here
it's
on the Boomsies phone.
Rue from Clan of the Grey Wolf.
It is Rue. It is Rue. Holy
I
crap.
told you.
Hey, Rue.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Doing good. How about yourself?
Not too bad. Hey Norm.
Hey, what's going on?
It's good. Not much. Good to talk to you quasi in the flesh. I
Yeah.
suppose.
Absolutely.
I had a question.
Sure.
It's okay. So you mentioned G4 or G4's icons as an influence, I suppose, with your show. I was wondering, being an historian, if there's any like more historical kind of shows or filmmakers, documentary filmmakers, the reason I asked this is because that influenced you. The reason I asked this is because I was watching the Little Samson review, and I noticed a bit of what I've heard termed the Ken Burns effect, so to speak, where it's like there's always like a little bit of a pan over still frames and stuff like that. I was just wondering if there's anything that influenced you like
got
that.
me red-handed. I love Ken Burns. I've watched all of his documentaries, so yes, definitely.
Sweet.
Ken Burns.
Any in particular that you enjoyed?
My favorite
especially-
is the Civil War.
I've heard that's a good one.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched the World War II one. And I thought that was good, but I thought the Civil War one was better. He has one on baseball. He has one on Prohibition. They're all really good. The Civil War one is really impressive because there's not a lot of like movies.
Right.
Well, there's probably like no movies from the Civil War.
Right.
So actually making something interesting on still images is very impressive.
And to keep you interested in it the whole time without having movie pictures.
Yes.
So, he's one of your inspirations.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
And you'll
I've
notice in
never
my
given-
episodes, I pan on still image a lot. Zoom in, zoom out, go left to right.
Yeah.
I've actually started doing that myself. It
And-
makes it more interesting, I suppose.
It does. And Rue, you do an awesome job with your stuff because you do a lot of research in your videos.
Oh, well, I appreciate it. Thank you. Well, I guess one other quick question. Have you ever given a thought to making like an actual documentary type video or like almost a feature-length kind of documentary for any particular game or genre or topic? Or if you did, what would it be on?
That's
Talked
a
to
good one.
Brian a little bit about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of top secret right now, but
Oh,
there is
well, never mind.
something possibly in the works.
Okay, neat.
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear more.
It's the Booger Man.
It's Booger Man documentary. You gave it away, man.
Sorry! You can't hold the Booger Man in.
Why isn't there a 16-bit gems on
Oh, good question.
Booger Man? Rue?
I've gotten that.
Oh my god, have you really?
People have actually asked for that.
It's a little down the list.
Well, you'll get to it. When you do, you let us know.
By the way, Rue, you have a new episode coming out soon?
Yeah. Supposedly it was going to be this Tuesday, but I'm pushing it back a week. Through the Miyamoto principle, where a good game or a bad game, I don't know. A good game can wait, basically.
Yeah.
I agree.
Just don't go to Team Ninja waiting times. That's bad.
Exactly.
That's
But yeah,
like
actually,
next year.
The current,
Rue, I'm the champion of pushing videos back, so don't worry.
Well, yeah, because you keep having little things pop up, and you gotta fix it or make it better. But yeah, the current scheduled release date is Valentine's Day. So
Oh.
Is it a love story?
kind of, not really.
I actually know what the topic is. I don't want to give it away if you don't want me to. So, but it's going to be
You might
really
as
good.
well.
I think.
I've talked about it elsewhere, not officially, but go ahead.
So it's officially being revealed on Boomsies, you're saying?
Yes.
Breaking news, everybody, here on Boomzies.
All right, Rue, go ahead, say it.
All right. Well, it's actually termed the rise of the RPG, and it's a full history only episode on the history of modern RPGs up to Dragon Quest, basically. And that's an intro to Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3, which will be the next episode.
Very cool.
So the real question is, when are you and Norm going to do a video together? That'd be awesome.
That
It
would
would be awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know. We should collaborate and such.
It would be a UNC-based episode.
It would be. It'd just be about the Tar Heels.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, we should do a collaboration for NCAA basketball.
There we go. We'll do an episode on NCAA basketball.
Yeah,
The fans will be through the roof, man. Through the roof.
Yeah. You want an episode on Booger Man? How about NCAA basketball?
You're just knocking the hits out one by one, Norm.
Knocking
them out of the park.
Now, Rue, this episode isn't going to cause any E-drama, is it?
You never know, but
It is the internet.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's going to come up. So, well, thank you, Rue. You honor
very
us.
Yes.
No,
Thanks for calling.
Thank you very much. I really enjoy all your stuff, and especially Norm. So it's good to talk to you.
Thanks. Good to talk to you. I love your show.
Thank you. All right. Talk to you later.
See you
All
later.
right, see ya. Which, yes, by the way, you all should be checking out 16-bit. You should have already checked out 16-bit Jumps.
Great show.
Great show, and yeah, they have impeccable taste in games, and they know their stuff.
He did an episode on North and South.
Yeah, the NES game.
Great game.
Yeah, it's a great game.
Great.
Landon's
So what was breaking news? What was?
Landon's
What was
you
been
weren't in
said?
on the
all?
call? You weren't in on the
No,
call?
I didn't have headphones
Well, why didn't you put the other one in your phone?
because they're sitting at his crotch.
Well, you can root down there, man. It's all right.
Long story short, they're going to be covering kind of pretty much the history of RPGs up until Dragon Quest 1. That's going to be Clan of the Grey Wolf. 16-bit Jim's
Yeah.
going to be
And
doing.
then the next episode will cover Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3.
Right, 1, 2, and 3 after that. So
Cool.
it'll be a pretty cool episode. So, and he just, we're going to call him the Boomsies phone.
See how awkward
There
this
you
is
go,
going to be
there you
for
go.
us.
And you there you go, there you go. Hello, you've called the Boomsies phone. Who are we talking to?
Hello?
Hello? Hi there.
Ian.
Hey, Ian, what's going on?
I just wanted to say hi, and I just wanted to tell Norm that I love your show.
Thank you, Ian. I really appreciate it.
Now, you might want to listen through your phone, not the speakers on your computer, because there's a little delay. So listen to us on your phone and turn us down on the speakers.
Okay.
So did you have a question for Norm, or a thought, or a...
On the phone.
A well-wishing?
Do you think you could tell any? Do you think you could tell any of us what the next gaming historian is going to be on?
Oh, the next.
Oh, the next topic. Can you reveal it or not?
I don't, because it's in the early stages right now, and I might
You might change it.
change it if I look into it more and it's like, okay, this is kind of...
Don't want to lock yourself into it.
Yeah, can't lock into it.
But it's going to be good.
It won't be about a Nintendo item. I'll say that.
Okay.
No Nintendo.
No Nintendo, so something different.
Yeah, I've been on a Nintendo streak recently, so I've been accused of being like Nintendo fanboy all the time.
But it's...
I don't want to lock myself in.
You alright?
And I'm
Okay.
alive. Sorry about that.
All right, thanks.
Hey, no problem, man. Thanks for calling.
Thank you, Ian.
Thanks.
The game taco? We're talking about the N-Gage. The game taco, the episode that changes everything.
The N-Gage. Great
Might-
system.
Might want to change it to where you'll be in a Tails costume.
There we go. Okay, that's my big announcement. Fun with Tales.
Fun with it.
A new
This
live
is a
web
show-
show on Justin TV.
Norm and I have been talking about this for a while, actually.
Yeah.
For a while
Fun
on
with
G-Chat.
Tales.
Fun with Tails. We'll just-
Basically, it's like Hey You Pikachu, but it's me in a Tails outfit.
You and Tails after.
Yeah. Oh, we
Okay,
got another call.
we got another call. Hello, you called the Boomsies phone. Who are we talking to?
Hey, it's John the Dominator.
John the Dominator.
John the Dominator.
What's up?
Not so much, man. I just want to say hi, and I wanted to ask Norm a question.
Sure, shoot.
There's another show I've seen online. Are you familiar with machinima.com at all?
Yes.
They actually have their own show. I don't know if you know them, but it's all your video game history belongs to us.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great show.
All right. I just didn't know. I didn't hear you talking about that at all, or like anything about that, and I didn't know if that also helped influence you at all.
That show came out actually a little bit after I started.
You think it was inspired by you?
No, I don't think it's a big deal to start your own show about video games. So, but yeah, it's a good show. They go pretty in depth for some of these things. Their Halo episode was huge.
So what would... Oh, go ahead, John.
Huh?
I said, go ahead.
Oh, I really didn't have anything else besides that.
Sweet.
Okay.
Well, thanks for bringing it up. We
Yeah, thanks
Norm
for calling,
knows
John.
all. He knows and sees all.
All right.
All right, bud.
All right,
Thanks for
nice talking
calling.
to you guys.
Thank
All
you.
right, no problem. Bye.
You were the omnipotent one. The being of all-knowing knowledge.
Maybe.
Well, he just said earlier, he's like, you can't know everything about everything.
Yeah.
But that's called being meek.
That's being humble. Being meek there's a difference in there.
You can be meek in this situation. You could also be humble.
Yeah, well,
Why do you gotta bag on my adjectives?
I'm just saying,
Huh?
being meek is like putting him down.
No, he's putting himself down.
Well, I'm
Okay.
just saying I'm not gonna get mad at anybody for starting their own video game show.
Whoa, we got another call.
Man.
Holy crap.
Well,
You called the Boomsies phone. Who we talking to?
part of their own video game show. We got another call. Holy crap.
But by the way, turn your computer speakers down when you call. Kind of like the radio show. Turn your radio down when you call up.
Turn your computer speakers down when you call. Kind of like the radio show. Turn your radio
It's
down.
like we're having an interview with ourselves.
Yeah.
Hello?
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 Hi.
Just keep saying hello.
Hi.
Who are we talking to?
Stadium?
Yeah, don't listen on your computer speakers.
You there?
Listen through your phone.
Yeah. Okay. Hi, I'm Fabian. I actually have a question for Norman.
Sure.
Okay.
I want to know, you ever wondered, like, on YouTube, your videos, you ever wondered, like, how you get views? Yeah, have you ever wondered, like, how you keep on getting views on YouTube, and it's like, who's watching and everything?
Like the secret to getting views on YouTube kind of thing?
Kind of like that, but, like, you ever wondered, like, what type of age, the percentage of people watching you on YouTube and everything is? Because I've always wondered, like, half the people on YouTube and everything, they put, like, funny comments at the end of every video saying, like, I always wondered, like, why people keep on watching my videos on YouTube and they're, like, 14 or something. And next thing you know, it says, or something like that. I don't know.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I am surprised how young some of my audience is. And it's cool because they learn about all this old video games and then they want to play it too. And
Yeah,
there was one kid...
I agree, because, so many of the games that you comment on are really great ones, and, people keep on, checking them out, finding out. I actually want to know if do you take requests on the history of certain games?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have some?
I want to know because I've always like thought about like, you know, I recently saw Derek's, you know, Derek Alexander, Happy Video Game Nerd. He recently did a review on Gargoyle's Quest, and I wanted to know, you know, more about the history of it. I actually played the game, really liked it, but I always want to know about the history because he said he was never really interested in connecting the dots about it. So I wanted to know if you could.
It's definitely a topic I could do. It's a great game series, and it's a shame that you don't really see them anymore.
Well, the history it had before it even came out, it's got a huge history of how it was created. So,
definitely.
possibly,
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, it's cool to have younger viewers, and actually, I searched for Game Historian on YouTube, and there's like a 7 or 8 year old kid, and he started his own Gaming Historian.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
That's cool.
Inspired directly by you.
Yeah, and he said thank you to me when he made the video, and I just thought that's cool.
That's really awesome.
That's really cool.
That's like the best payoff when you inspire somebody to do something else.
It's always cool when your fans go out and do something, you know.
Well, yeah, because you did it.
And they learned something.
Exactly.
I've had kids email me.
Sue him.
Yeah, I'll sue this 7-year-old. I've had 7-year-old, not 7-year-olds. I've had kids.
And I'm the weirdo with Earthbound 12-year-olds.
No, I mean, I've had people email me and say, "Hey, I've used your videos in research papers," or I've had people say, "Hey, can I interview you? I'm doing my senior project on gaming and how it influences culture." So it's cool. Like, I'm getting involved in education now as well.
Nice. Very cool. So, well, thank you very much for the phone call.
Thank you very much.
Sure. I actually just wanted to ask because, like I said, Gargoyle's Quest, really good game, but I have no idea about the story. I've tried to connect the dots as hard as I can, but I just can't figure it out, no matter what. And so I was wondering if you could do it for me because it would take me forever, and I barely have any time to do it anyway. Because after all, I'm gonna admit the truth here. Reason why I asked the entire age question about who's watching you on YouTube is because I am 14 years old.
Well, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, the fact that you're wanting to get interested in and find out about this stuff, you're way ahead of everybody else at your age.
So when you were born, the Nintendo 64 had just come out. Yeah.
See, that's what I find interesting. Yeah. It's a completely different era, different time.
It is.
When we think of Nintendo, I think of NES, and he would think of Nintendo 64. So.
Yeah.
Cool.
Very cool.
You have a great night, sir.
Thank you for calling, and I will definitely consider that Gargoyle's Quest.
All right. Thanks.
See ya. All right. Well, don't be the questions. I'm thinking...
Back to Tales Fursuit talk.
Back to Tales.
You guys don't want to hear about my new show.
Could you cut back? Yeah, cut back to Tales. Like, I would actually like to see an episode on the N-Gage.
Oh, and such a huge failure. I mean, I guess
don't want to.
It would be. Now, I'd like to talk about the Virtual Boy.
Yeah. Really?
Oh yeah, because I didn't. My friend got one on launch day, and we played it, and we thought it was the coolest thing. And then slowly we were like, "Hey, how come we can't buy games for this thing anymore?" Because we didn't have the internet back then. We didn't know what was going on with the Virtual Boy.
Right? You're like, "What's Virtual Boy?"
Where did it go?
And then it did. It just it died super quick.
Mm-hmm. It did.
Did the N-Gage last longer than the Virtual Boy? Is the question.
I believe so. I believe it did.
Wow, that's sad.
Well, and we got Lazy Kirby has a question about history of Smash Brothers. That would be a fun episode
because that's a lot of topics that come into that.
All comes together. How Laboratory did that game? They did the Kirby games.
Yeah.
And by the way, you're talking about Kirby Air Ride. You notice the menu system is like
exactly
like Smash
sound
Brothers.
Effects. Yeah, HAL, especially on the GameCube. Their sound effects and stuff are really similar in a lot of their games if you play through their stuff. So yeah it's very interesting. But Anyway, well, if we got any more questions, if not, I'd like to talk about this live on show. It's 10:54 here. We've been rolling for a while. Do we want to do emulation tonight, or do we want to wait till next week?
If they want to hear it tonight, I don't.
If they want to hear it tonight, I'm just throwing it out there. Norm,
Let's
how
do
you
it.
feel?
I'm a night owl.
You're a night owl. Okay, we will continue on. So, unless we have any other questions, let's continue on to our main topic.
Because he'll probably have more information. On
He will have more
emulation
information.
than-
Yes,
than I might be able to contribute to this conversation.
Well, we'll be talking about emulation in general in video games, and there's a wide range of topics about this, and of course, a lot of e-drama about it, good and bad. So, let's ask your viewpoint
Okay.
on. Oh wait, we got to call the Boomsies phone.
Oh.
Whoa, hello, who we talking to?
Sorry, man.
Hey, it's Samurai Sam.
Samurai
Hey,
Sam.
happy birthday.
Thank you very much. I have a question for Norm.
Okay.
I'd like to ask, I'm just curious, how do you go about doing your research, finding out all the stuff that hardly anybody knows, and how do you determine what sources are credible, which are not, and all that jazz?
Well, it's always good to find primary sources first, interviews with people that contributed to the game. One thing I do a lot, and a lot of people don't do this, but I think you should be able to do it. Call the company. Call the company that made the game. It's their product. Ask about it. So
Have you gotten a lot of good information that way?
yes, I've talked to a lot of ex-Nintendo employees. I've talked to some people at Capcom. Seriously, you can write them emails. You can call them on the phone. It's a great source to have.
Is there ever a language barrier?
Capcom does have U.S. representatives, and sometimes they'll try to go the extra mile, but usually Capcom wasn't very cooperative.
Really?
When I talked to them. Yeah.
Nintendo, much more.
Nintendo is very good. Yeah. I actually just finished talking to an ex-Nintendo employee. He worked there before the NES came out. He was a product manager, and what he did was he determined what games were good,
Right.
so they should ship them to the United States. And it's funny, I asked him, what did you think of Donkey Kong 3? Because I just did an episode on it, and he said, oh, I hated Donkey Kong 3. So I didn't want a lot of arcade cabinets, so they didn't get a lot, only about 5,000.
Wow. So he was a main contributor to whether they got him or not.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. So as far as doing research, now a lot of people say don't use Wikipedia. Wikipedia is a great gateway.
Right.
As far as if you go down to the bottom, they have the references list. Go to those references. Don't just read Wikipedia, because I could write in Wikipedia that Mario has a sister named Batman.
Right. Awesome. We need to make that reality.
You think
Somebody
so?
write that in there.
Nintendo needs to get with DC and make it happen.
Yeah.
Would you be fine with Batman having a sex change?
Well, then it starts. I don't know.
Batman has
Well, that's really cool. I have to confess, I haven't watched your show. I'm a bad boy, but I definitely will go check it out one of these days.
You should.
I appreciate it. Thanks. Thanks for the support, and thanks for the call.
All right, you're welcome. Night,
The
guys.
Pack Master himself, Samurai Sam. He is the Pack Master.
Yes. Bad luck beating my score.
Bad luck. Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks a lot.
Bad luck.
All right, bud.
Bye.
See ya.
And Rue just brought up a great point on the chat. He says, what's surprising is how many actual books have incorrect information. And I've run into this a lot.
Really?
Yeah, I read a book about the Universal versus Nintendo court case. And in the book, it mentioned Howard Phillips, from the Howard and Nestor comics. He played Donkey Kong in the courtroom to prove it didn't infringe on copyright. Well, that's not true. Howard Phillips never was in the court case. It was actually several people. One was John Peterson, one was Jerry Momoda, and I actually contacted them by email, and they confirmed, yes, that was us. I contacted Howard Phillips. He said, no, I was never in that courtroom. So it is very interesting that Rue brings up a really good point. A lot of books are incorrect.
Have you ever had a source or something you quoted and you were confident it was true, and then for whatever reason it wasn't, and then you had an incorrect fact in your...
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Or you're not going to reveal that to us, though.
No,
we'll just keep
I'll
it
tell you,
secret.
it was my Mega Man episode. It's funny. I researched it. I was like, okay, this is solid.
This is
Released
solid.
it.
I know what
I
I'm
was
doing.
like, Keiji Inafune, the father of Mega Man. And then I read an article the next day. He's at some French game development conference. He's like, I'm not the father of Mega Man. It's Akira Kitamura. And I was like, so that whole episode is like wrong.
Son of a bitch.
I mean, a lot
So
of
do you have to do a redux, or do you just leave it as it is?
I've left it. I do mention that while Inafune didn't like create Mega Man,
Right.
he's considered the father, and I think he still is. He still has that.
Well, because he
label.
fostered the love for Mega Man
He-
that people have.
He really developed that character and
Yeah.
all the enemies. So technically, he could still be the father of Mega Man. Who is the father? Mori. Paternity
Mori.
test.
Oh, we need to have them on there.
Let's do it.
Have Mega Man on there, like, you're not my baby daddy. We have the paternity test. Inafune, you are not the father. Oh, you told you. And Mega Man's crying. I would watch that.
Yeah.
I would watch that.
So, and there's things I miss. In the NES 2 episode, I forgot to mention the NES 2 will play PAL games. It doesn't have a lockout chip. You can play unlicensed games. You can play European games. It plays anything.
Even Japanese?
Doesn't play family
Ah,
games.
that's what I'm saying, yeah.
Unless you got the adapter. So, of course, I'd like to go back and fix those. Not fix them. I'm going to leave the originals as they are, but I'd like to do a re-edit.
Right.
Derek recently did a re-edit of his Earthbound video
Yeah, he
because Rue did his and completely upstaged his. I gotta be honest, I thought Rue's was incredibly well done. Derek's is very good too, though, because Derek talks more about the love of the game.
Yeah,
why
like he talks
people-
about that fan guide and the love that the fans
and why
have for the
people
game.
love that game. And it is a great game.
Very nice. Okay. Well, you ready to move on to emulators? Or
Let's do it. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Emulation.
Emulation. So we were kind of talking. What are your thoughts on emulation, guys? What I mean, Norm,
Well, I'll
you're-
let you go first.
Well, I've never really been a person that plays emulation games. I've never really done it. I don't modify my game consoles to play emulations. So I would just be on an outside perspective. I don't have anything against it. I've just never done it.
What about your Retro Duo? Isn't that considered an emulator?
I guess it could be, but I mean,
Right, you're
like,
playing the real cartridges, but it's on
Right.
it's emulating
Well,
it
that's
on a
emulating
system.
the hardware.
yeah.
It's
So I mean,
emulating
that's the
hardware.
thing. Like, I've never emulated software. Is,
Okay.
I guess what I'm trying to say
Or-
is I've never. What's that?
I said you never downloaded a game and
Correct. Yeah, I've just never
Ever?
done that. Yeah, it's not that I'm against it.
Right.
I've just never done that. I've never modified my Xbox, my PSPs, any of that stuff. I've thought about it, but I've just never done it. So, and I think it's more of like a lazy factor than I have something morally against it. I mean, I can understand. I can understand, like, okay, yes, it might take away, if you're just downloading games for free, rather than purchasing them. Granted, it's a lot of times it's for older games,
Yeah.
NES games and
Usually,
stuff. So I really don't see an issue with it. I don't have a problem with it. I just don't do it. So,
Okay.
in a nutshell, that's
in a nutshell.
my
In a nutshell.
take on it.
Norm.
It all depends on the game. If I can easily get a hold of it, I will try my best to get a hold of it. But as far as when Earthbound came out,
Right.
I emulated it. I mean,
To try it
it
out.
was impossible to find. I mean, I own a cart now.
Right.
But
now, yeah.
if there's a game you really want to try, especially an older game that you really want to try, and you can't find it, I don't see a problem with it.
So what about
Emulating it.
old arcade games that they've never ported that you want to play that there's no way to play except if you own the PCB and the machine?
A lot of people have MAME
MAME's a big
machines,
thing.
and
Yeah.
that's all emulation. So
So even though it's technically under the law it's illegal.
technically,
But of course
Yes.
I don't. See, that's the thing I've always had with emulation. There's certain games I love to play. Metamorphic Force on the arcade was an amazing Konami game. That's like Ultra Beast mixed with X-Men. They never released it on home consoles. Recently, though, they put The Simpsons finally, the arcade game, on Xbox Live.
Yeah.
And I downloaded that like day of. Had I played it before then? Yeah, because I don't have it. And so I think for me, I kind of agree with you there. There's a certain limitation where it's like, if there's no way I can own the game, and the other point is, especially for those emulators and even Earthbound, Nintendo's not putting any more out. They're not making money off of it. It's not like there's a compilation disc.
Right.
You know, that's I think where people have issues when we go on that border of, okay, now you can possibly own this and pay a publisher money, then it's wrong.
Yeah, because I think there's a fine line between emulation and piracy. You know, if you're
Right.
downloading, like newer stuff, I mean, then you're going into piracy. But for old retro stuff, it's just an accessibility thing. And I think, personally, I'm a collector. I like to own the physical thing, just have it. You know what I mean? But I definitely agree. I mean, if it's something that you can't have, they never ported, they never made, so then yeah.
Well, Rue makes a good point here, and I was going to talk about this. Yeah, he says some games require emulation with translation packs, like Mother 3, Clock Tower, Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3 for the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, and Mother 1.
Yeah, Mother 1,
Earthbound,
the first
the original
Earthbound
Earthbound.
Zero.
I bought a reproduction cart because how else am I going to play it?
Yeah. Well, and I did that Namco Cross Capcom, that really cool RPG on the PS2. I bought an import copy, but I had to download a patch and burn the game with the patch on it to play it. Because there's no real way for me to play it and understand it. So,
J.K. Spencer, Super Robot Wars. That's another game I've emulated.
Yeah. Those are great games, but we've only gotten the Super Robot Tyson and Super Robot Tyson 2. That's it.
Oh,
we
Boomzies
get a call.
Your earbud.
Hello, welcome to the Boomsies phone.
So
Looks like
awkward.
who are we talking to here? Hello?
Hello. Can you hear
Who are
me?
we talking to?
Can you hear me? Am I coming in okay?
I can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you guys.
Awesome.
Okay.
So what do you got to
Awesome.
say on this whole
I'm
emulation
just-
thing?
I'm kind of half watching the UFC 143 here, and I'm clicking over to Boomsies, and you guys talking.
All right.
Hey, that's okay. I like UFC.
Fabricio Wordham just knocked the hell out of Roy Nelson. That was awesome.
Wow.
Love the
Yeah,
knockouts.
anyways, talking about the piracy emulation thing.
Okay.
The main thing with emulation is there are some systems and there are some like DOS games and stuff. You're never going to find that anywhere other than like good old games maybe, but who really cares about that stuff anymore? Is like can we get to a point where we can say like there's copyright and then there's just no one's going to want to sell this anymore for any reason. It's a cult classic and like there's not going to be any kind of HD remix ever in the future? Like, is there a point where game companies can just say, okay, you guys can have it?
Like
Like,
a
we're not
statute of
making-
limitations kind of thing, where they say, we'll just release these games into the wild for everybody to have.
Like there's abandonware, and then I mean stuff like Ultima, where there's or the King's Quest, where Telltale has the rights to King's Quest, and they're trying to sell the King's Quest games for like, or maybe it's Monkey Island, I don't know, one of those two for like $50 or $60 each game, and it's like those games are kind of like 45 years old.
They're old.
You know,
They're old games. Yeah.
They feel like 45 years old, and it's like, why would we spend $60 on games like that? I don't get it.
Well, if a developer does own the game, they do have a right to do that. They have a right to sell it for that price, and of course, we might not agree
Right.
with it, but yeah, I see what you're saying though.
And then there's like okay, the people that are running Wii's or PS3s that have all the games that are released pirated onto them. That's okay. Don't do that. Like I know a few people that do that, but don't do that. Buy a game if you really want it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or like
Yeah.
what I respect most is the people that will pirate a game, and if they like it, they'll buy it. I can get behind that sort of, but it's
Yeah.
still not the right thing to do. I'm like there should be something like right now in 2012, any game made before 1990 almost. We're almost at that point. Before 1990 should really be given a hard look at and say, is this really worth it? Are we really making tons of money off this at
Right.
this point? I mean,
Well, it's like anything, though. I think it's like with movie franchises or TV franchises. We've seen a lot of them revived on the big screen. I think these companies want to hold on to them until the right time comes along. They're like, I mean, look at the Street Fighter series. Until Street Fighter 4, we had Third Strike, but the series was kind of just dead. And then they
fighting
revived it,
games
and now
as
it's
a whole
huge.
are dead.
What's that?
Fighting games as a whole were dead, and then Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter and Marvel vs.
Right.
Capcom came out, and it's like, ooh, fighting games. Let's try one of those.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, hey, thanks for your question.
Thank you.
Mm.
And go back and enjoy your UFC.
Yeah, the Diaz versus Condit is starting. It's gonna be
Ooh. Nice. You'll have to tell us how that goes.
good. Well, see
All
ya.
right, bud. See ya.
Thanks for calling.
Yeah, I think that would have to come down to the company having to make a decision like that, because it would be too subjective to say after this period of time, if it's not selling to this point, then they could be free to download, free to emulate.
Yeah.
I think.
Right.
I mean, that's just a little too subjective, so I don't think that would ever get to that point. But I mean, if the developers or the owning company, whoever has the rights, if they want to.
Well, it's
then
almost
sure.
like, I mean, of course, this would have to take a while, but like they get with books, certain literary works, you know, they're free rights. You know,
I was
you
thinking
can,
like photographs, but that's as long as as long as the copyright isn't reissued, though.
but isn't there a point where was it?
I think it's like
wasn't
75
Nintendo,
years, though.
Was Nintendo or what game company I thought recently had a character or had a? I thought it was Disney.
It's
It wasn't Disney with
It's
Mickey
Disney,
Mouse.
yeah.
And are they losing that, or is it?
Well, I don't know what's happening with that, but see, that's an issue where like they continuously
Right, they
renew
continue
it.
to renew, but at a certain point,
I think it's 75 years is when it becomes public domain.
right. You have a Smurf.
I'm sorry, I'm reading the chat, and I think I know one of those is my girlfriend. I think she's
Oh.
undercover.
Okay, we won't. Wait a second.
Lazy
I think I
Kirby.
know exactly. Yeah,
Tanuki 28.
yeah.
I think is.
Are you being
I
harassed?
think I'm being harassed here.
Don't harass Norm. He's the guest.
I'm very
He's our
vulnerable.
guest of honor.
I'm
He's been
vulnerable
very.
and innocent.
He's been attacked this whole time. So just my
Yeah,
cover's
I
been
knew
low.
it. Yeah, my cover's been low.
Ah man, she didn't do a very good job.
It's Mrs. Gaming Historian.
Mrs. Gaming Historian, who, what? That's quite a life to live. In the shadows
It's
all
a
the time.
full-time job.
She can't go out in public
She has to wear a mask.
like Michael Jackson kind of
Yeah,
mask
can't
thing
be
going on.
seen. Yeah,
Man.
you know, because people want to
crazy.
take pictures and they're like, "Oh, Mrs. Gaming Historian."
And they ask for autograph and money and wow,
Yeah.
that's really tough. So, well, yeah, and that's what I think is really funny when we talk about emulation and emulating current games. You know, that's what people look down on. I do for my PSP. I have a 16 gig card and I have everything downloaded, but I own every game I have downloaded.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about something where you own the game, so you're allowed? When you own the game, aren't you allowed to download a copy of it?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can have backup copies.
Yeah.
You can have a backup. So that way it's all on there. I don't
Just
have to
can't
use.
sell it.
Well, you can't sell it, of course, yeah. But I don't have to use the UMD drive. I don't wear out parts. It loads faster. My battery lasts longer. And I have all my library there sitting on my PSP ready to go. I don't have to load in discs. You down with that?
Yeah, I mean,
No problem.
like the Tecmo Super Bowl ROM that I'm playing. I own
Right.
the original Tecmo Super Bowl, so I have a right to modify
that
it to my
modify
enjoyment,
it?
as long as I'm not
Selling
it for.
Now, what about that reproduction card they sell for $20?
Well, I'm not responsible for.
No,
what
but
they do.
wait, I know you're not responsible. What do you think about those people who are to
I
sell
guess
that?
full spectrum here. Sorry to butt in. He says you aren't allowed to download a copy. You're allowed to back up yourself. Make a backup yourself. So there's a difference from going out and downloading it, though, because that could be considered piracy. Because you're downloading from another source, so you technically would be. You're not spending money, but you're getting it from another individual.
Well, I will
So that
pull
would
my
be a
UMD
difference.
burner out. And
I'll
we'll
pull
burn
my,
those
my
games.
NES Ripper out. I forgot I owned one of those.
So what do you think about them selling that for $20? Are they technically doing something illegal?
Here's what I feel like. I
Okay.
feel like if Tecmo doesn't have a problem with it, then it's fine.
You think they know about it?
I'm sure they do.
Okay.
There's a site dedicated to that game. They know it has such a huge following. I'm sure they know.
So you're kind of just saying
Here's how
it's
Tecmo-
common sense.
Tecmo
kind of
probably
stuff.
feels, well, we don't sell that game new anymore. Them making this reproduction card just gets more people interested in our products.
Right, and it's
a
not like
good
they're
thing.
they're selling the Tecmo Bowl DS game or whatever. Which
Yeah.
how was that, by the way?
I never played it. Surprisingly, I've not
The
played
Tecmo Bowl fan?
Tecmo Bowl for the Nintendo. Well, I never owned a Nintendo DS. Didn't you remember?
Oh yeah, but now you have a 3DS.
Now I have a 3DS. So
Get on that.
Well, people have been harping on me because they're like, "Oh, the DS games look terrible on the 3DS."
They do.
Apparently, they look like blurry and.
I haven't played it.
I've
Yeah,
played a DS game.
I think it looks.
Although I
fine.
played Pacross, so it looks fine. Pacross on the 3DS is the way to go.
Yeah.
Oh, someone said, yeah, something like that has happened with the Dolphin emulator. You have to play the games to play it on PC. Yeah. What do you think about something like that, where you're playing it on the Dolphin emulator to get better frame rate and better resolution, high res, and all that? Is that...
Well, you have to play the actual disc, isn't that what they're saying? That you have to put in.
Yeah, you actually have to play the actual disc. Yeah.
So you own it. So
but you do own it. But you're
that's...
you're modifying source code from a company who own that code to build.
That's different from That's different from emulation. That's modifying.
Well, that's
like
modifying. But you're emulating the system. You're emulating the system. You're not emulating the game, but you're emulating the hardware.
Hardware
emulation. Yeah. Exactly. From, of course, the GameCube's not being sold by Nintendo new, but it is their property in a sense.
I think emulation has its upside, but it also has a negative connotation to it. I think if you can reasonably own the game, then you should own it.
Okay.
I think there's a difference between like when something is in full retail and when something's not in retail.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, if Len was like, yeah, I played Final Fantasy 13 too, I downloaded it off this torrent site.
Right.
We'd be like, whoa, you can go buy
now,
that.
Now, what if you emulated a PS3 or a Xbox 360 or a Wii to play a game?
And you're purchasing real discs? Playing on your emulated hardware.
Playing on your emulated hardware.
Does that happen?
I know people with Wii's who do that. I know you can do that with Wii. I know you can do that with the Wii because computers are more than powerful enough to do that.
Well, I worked with two guys that modified their Xbox, and they modified it so they could play burnt games. They could download a game and burn it and play it. And they got banned from Xbox Live, and they were complaining. They were like, I can't believe I got banned. I didn't do anything wrong. I modified the system that I owned. I have a right to do that. It's not my problem that they don't know how to make a system like that. And
so they're almost like, because they didn't make the mousetrap smart enough, it's their fault.
And I just laughed. I said, well, don't break the law. I mean,
breaking the law.
It's illegal for you to do that. So, I mean, they're banned from Xbox Live now. So they have a useless 360.
So they felt indignant. They weren't like, oh, we were caught. They were like, oh, how dare they do that to us.
They felt hurt. They can play single-player games. They'll just never be able to connect to Xbox Live ever again.
That's weird.
Yeah, people want to save money, so they'll do it any way they can.
And that's why I think a big reason is they're talking about, when we were talking about the Xbox 720 last week, they're trying to get control of all the content. Because if it's all digital, then they don't have to worry about, if they have all this lockdown on the content, and you have to go online to get it all, and your system has to be checked online.
Right, you're avoiding used game sales.
Yeah, you're avoiding used game sales, but I think you're also avoiding piracy in the sense where every time your system's going to be constantly online. Kind of like they do with PCs a lot of times.
Diablo.
Offline games that have to be online.
The new Diablo will be that way.
Now, Well of Random says, I support video game piracy because I don't support rip-off downloadable content and online passes.
But those are in place because of piracy, so it's kind of a circling thing here.
That's the circle of death.
Yeah.
It is not the circle of life.
So the more you pirate, the more companies get pissed off and have to try and find ways to, not lose their money through pirates. And it's just, it's a double-edged sword in that sense, in my mind. I don't like what companies are doing with online passes continuously. I think online passes are okay, again, if we've had this conversation before, if they're like a very, very reasonable price, like $2.50, you know what I mean? Like, it's not a gorging $15 to play fucking online. Like, that's ridiculous. $2.50, like, okay, fine, I'll buy my used game, I'll spend $2.50. I can handle that. I still don't think that's an amazing solution, but it's an acceptable solution.
Right.
Pirating games, brand new $60 games, going out and getting them for free and playing them on your consoles, I find that wrong.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I can't argue with that.
I'm not a fan of online passes at all.
No. And I think, that's
what I'm saying. Like, I'm not a fan of it, but I think, if you're going to do it and it gets to that point because of piracy,
it should be cheaper.
It should not be at $15.
Yeah.
So you think
$2.50
game companies need to come down to the prices of DLC and games, or just the DLC online pass?
Well, there's also things like where you get kind of frustrated where you've got DLC already built, already ready to go when the game launches, and you're like, okay, well, we'll just wait a week. It's like, if you have that, put it in the game.
Loudfy Hilmy. I live in a third world country. Everything is pirated. People earn money for their family on these things, so emulation is the least of things, or I'm guessing the least of these problems. Well, in Brazil and I know South America and a lot of other places, yeah, piracy is huge. Emulation and piracy is huge, and people make a ton of money off of that. Making and kind of going to the point of like pirated carts, like when people try to sell Pokemon carts, and they're like they're fake. Or what I've been dealing with my Neo Geo MVS, which is boots. They're fake carts. They look real. They have EEPROM chips that look good, but they're fakes and they're boots.
Yeah.
Now no one's making money off of those, but that's kind of one of those cases of you're misrepresenting your product. You're selling it as this, but really it's a fake. It's a phony. What do you think about that whole issue of people selling fake and pirated games?
Well, it's I don't know. I mean, how do you stop it?
Right. See, that's the thing. He's seen people make money about that.
Yeah, and it's very common in those countries.
See, and I don't see how you stop that. He's saying families make money off of that.
Yeah, and shoot, even Retroware TV did a good video on a lot of the pirated NES hardware,
Right.
like the Dendy in Russia.
Yep.
It was the pirated Nintendo system. I mean, how do you stop that? Seriously.
It's just people making an extra buck off it. I mean, I think like people are saying, make games more affordable for people.
Mm-hmm.
Make
Well,
systems more
there's a
affordable.
difference between people in America going out and downloading pirated
yeah,
games
that's
just
true,
to get
yeah.
out of $60. I mean, that's totally
third
different,
world country
totally
in
different
America, yeah,
situation.
totally
You know,
different.
I mean, if you're gonna go against people and go, attack people for doing piracy, I mean, obviously, not really third world people. You're gonna attack the people that are exploiting this for reasons to actually harm that company.
And see, Soggy Pronoun has a point here. You can't stop piracy. You can just be better than it. It has existed in some way in everything all throughout history. And that's true.
Well, pirating movies, that's been going on for years.
Yeah.
And of course, the whole, music. People were worried when the cassette player came out, you could record music.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, oh, you're getting it for free now. Well, that never happened, and, people were just fine. So, I think if the game companies can, like we said, focus on the quality, it won't ever go away, but it'll certainly get better. Because, there's always going to be bad people around there, trying to, like here in America, trying to just sell people on stuff, but...
Well, if it's a game that Conquer 64 makes another good point, paying for the game helps the economy, especially buying it brand new. You're supporting the developer, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree with that.
I'm just bidding my time till I can pirate a car.
Root, you wouldn't download a car, would you?
I just did, and I printed it off on my new 3D printer.
I was actually I heard a funny sketch comedy about downloading things legally, and the comedian mentioned you see these things in movie theaters, like you wouldn't steal a car, would you? And the comedian goes, well, if all I had to do was click a mouse, then hell yeah, I would steal a car. I mean,
it's kind of the point of entry and the risk is a little bit easier.
Yeah, it's a totally different thing. So, emulation is a hot topic, I guess.
Yeah. Well, and I think we kind of covered the point of it. If
But
really, I think in our opinions, just use common sense. I know a lot of stuff is just, if it's going to lose money for the company or it's stealing from them in a way that is effective on their checkbooks in a real viable way, then don't do it. But we're talking about this old stuff like Earthbound Zero, no way you're going to get a hold of it, or emulation for me.
If you emulate combat for the Atari 2600, is that wrong?
No, I don't see that's wrong.
Okay.
Well, because I think there's for me in my mind, I have a clear difference between emulation and piracy. And emulation is more of a retro thing, something that's not in retail, and piracy is full on retail, full on.
Well, piracy is a form of emulation.
Right, that's
it's
what I'm
just
saying.
the bad form of it.
I'm just seeing those two terms as different things.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, and that's where I agree with you. I think you can, use common sense. And like I said with the Simpsons game, I had it on an emulator, but I think the real point is it's the spirit of the heart of the person behind it. I did have Simpsons on main, but I downloaded it when it came out. You know, if I guess you could say to yourself, if you'd be willing to pay money for this, if it came out for real, then it's okay for you to download it and emulate it. You know what I mean? If it's an arcade game, if it's an Atari game, if they said Battlezone for Xbox Live's coming out, download it, you would download it, then I don't think there's any problem.
See, we've got, I can't pronounce her name, Aradisu is making a comment here saying, what if you wanted to try a game, if it's actually good, I go buy it after having rented it, after having tried it, and then makes a comment later, rent it, the publisher doesn't get anything out of you renting it. See, the problem in my mind is if you're going to go download a game and you say you like it and you're going to go buy it, you might be the one person that would do that. But I don't think the general public is going to be in that sense. They're going to be like, oh, I really love this game. Well, I didn't spend any money on it, and cash is kind of tight.
I've already got it.
So it's going to be that way. And then the comment on rent it, the publisher doesn't get anything out of renting it. The companies that do sell, that rent these games do purchase them from the developer. So they are still getting money. Granted, the company that is renting it will get more money in the long run because they're going to have it for years.
But if you stop renting from them, they're not going to buy as many from the game company, hence they're going to get less money.
Right, so still, piracy.
So
not a good thing.
You're indirectly hurting the company, even though it's not a direct purchase, per se.
Yeah. Well, honest, yeah, I mean, it's just, and I don't think, the statement of, renting it doesn't benefit the publisher. I mean, it still does, because the company they're renting from will purchase those.
And Rue says, that's actually how I got into Pokemon in the 90s. Emulated Blue, thinking it would be dumb. Halfway through, I wound up going out and buying it.
Did you ever see that movie, Do the Right Thing?
Spike Lee joint?
Yeah.
Of course.
Do the Right Thing.
Me and Spike Lee were tight.
Yeah. That's my feeling on emulation piracy.
Do the right thing.
Do the right thing.
Spike Lee had it right.
Spike Lee was absolutely right.
He's actually the inspiration for Boomsies.
Is he?
Yeah.
Is that how you got the name? Boomsies?
Boomsies. Yeah. Actually, Spike Lee. I was going to say, Spike, I need a name for my show. He's like, Boomsies.
Boomsies, a Spike Lee joint.
A Spike Lee joint. I said, I can't do this. Spike
4
Lee
horses
joint.
and a mule production.
It was too long of a title. It didn't fit in the logo, so we just scrapped it. We're not friends anymore, though, after that. So we dealt with it, but whatever.
So, Brian, I agree with you. Common sense. Do the right thing.
Use common sense, and you can't stop everybody else. You got to be the one to do the right thing. Just like with pirating movies, music, and all that stuff. You just have to do the right thing yourself, and you can't control the rest of the world.
Right.
Even though Tears for Fears says that everybody wants to rule the world. Do you feel that's true?
Turn your back on Mother Nature.
Oh, God. Good point. I don't even know what to say to that.
Yeah. I was listening to some good classic rock on the way here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were rocking out.
Diamond Eyes are watching you.
Now, so we got a comment here from
watching you.
Typhooner X. If game companies want people to not pirate the games, then what they need to do is lower the prices of their new games. I disagree with that. I really honestly don't think that games are to a point where it's drastically too expensive and oh my god, $60 is far too. I'm taking into account inflation and where prices were years ago. It's really not that bad. Can prices be lower, and would that be cool? Yeah, that'd be great.
See, but what I would say,
I don't look at $60
on that point.
Really
I don't
outrageous.
think $60 is a lot in the rate of inflation. But if you look at what happened when Blu-rays first came out, that's $30-40 a Blu-ray. And as the technology became cheaper, the Blu-rays became cheaper.
Well, it's the same with any technology.
But that doesn't happen with video games.
Well, no.
When the Xbox 360 came out, it was $60, and the Xbox 360 today is still $60.
But see, here's the thing. I mean, well, that's But
that's the only point.
I mean, but we've had this conversation. We did an episode on this too, where basically we kind of came to the conclusion that it comes down to content. If you're going to put out a game that clearly does not have $60 worth of content, then do not put a $60 price tag on it. You see a lot of these HD re-releases. These are games that you've played before, and they put them out at $40.
Right.
That makes sense.
Or the new Resident Evil that's coming out. That's going to be that co-op PS3, Xbox 360 game. It's going to be $40.
Sure. Yeah.
So
it's I think publishers could do a better job of judging their content to their price, but as far as a standard of $60 for games that have good amount of content as next-gen games, I don't think that's outrageous, in my opinion. And so I don't think that's the reason why people are pirating.
Yeah, and Rue is right. Inflation. SNES games costing $67 in the 90s. We were $100 now. So if you did take it into account, it is a lot. I just think also in an economy like this, people are more tempted to do piracy.
Well, not only that, but some gamers are getting burned on games. It's like Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Then a few months later, there's
Ultimate comes out.
Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Yeah, Capcom in general has been doing that. So
that's an issue with publishers rather than...
Exactly, but you could see why somebody would be like, I can't believe I spent all this money. I should just
right, yeah, why should I spend another $40 on this when I get nothing out of it?
Yeah.
Publishers should be more aware. And if they're, clearly as they're putting together Marvel vs. Capcom, as quickly as they put out the added extras to it. Like
Right.
they had to have known when they released it. Okay, well we're probably going to release another version of this soon. So $60 is too.
And I think it's really what we're getting to in the end is both sides have to agree to kind of a ceasefire or disarming. It's not just pirates that are all bad, and it's not just the game companies that are all bad. Both of them have to kind of come to the middle and go, okay, look, like Landon said, I'm going to do better providing good content for the price, and pirates are going to go, well, we're going to, in good faith, rent and check out these games legitimately, and kind of come back to the middle again.
Mm-hmm.
Well, notice what Big Pharma 7 said. When Super Street Fighter 4 came out, they dropped online support for the original Street Fighter 4. So you basically have to buy the game again.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they force you into doing that, and that kind of stuff I don't like at all. I think that's it's almost like what they're going to be doing, what they do with Xbox 360 now, and what I think they're going to be doing with the 720 is only allowing online play if you download that version of the game for the old system.
Mm-hmm.
So what they're talking about is if you own a copy of, Halo 3 on 360, when you play it on your 720, it won't play online unless you pay money and download the game on their download service.
But that's not officially said yet.
No, but I'm saying the talk has been talking about that, and I think that's a terrible idea.
Yeah.
I think it's a terrible idea you've already paid for it, and you're only going to make people angry about it. So
Capcom has been pissing off a lot of people lately.
yeah, they're good at that.
Yeah.
They're really good at that lately.
And now
which is
they've
sad.
got Fat Mega Man in the new
Which I think is just funny.
Um,
I know people think it's bad, but I
Street
think
Fighter
that's funny.
Tekken. Yeah. It is funny, but a lot of Mega Man fans are hurt by that because they're not throwing any support Mega Man's way.
And your normal $200 collector's editions, $30 DLCs, $15 online fees, $500 systems. Do they not have enough money?
Well, a $200 collector's, that's your choice. Don't buy a
Yeah,
$200
you
collector's
don't have
edition.
to buy.
yeah.
I don't buy collector's editions unless it's something that interests me.
Right.
Like the Skyrim collector's edition, I had zero interest in having that dragon statue. So I stayed
Yeah.
away from it. I bought the standard.
I bought the Skyward Sword collector's edition because I wanted
Oh,
another
yeah,
Wii remote,
and it's a really nice.
and it's
a
a gold
Wii
one.
remote.
Yeah, it looks kind of weird with my red.
But it's also cheaper than buying them separately. A Wii Motion.
It is.
With Wii Motion collection with the game, it's cheaper. But I want a GoldenEye classic controller so I can, or I need a gold Wiimote, which the Japanese they got that,
Yeah.
and we didn't.
Now, in the Europeans got the Sonic Generations collector's bundle, which if you've seen that is very cool.
Yeah. Well, I didn't much care for Sonic Generations to this time.
Where you get the collector's edition of Final Fantasy 13 because it's awesome.
I knew that'd be brought up.
It's
I
nice-
knew you couldn't stop yourself.
nice
so.
and soft.
Yeah.
Well, I think we have covered really
Sure.
all the top parts of this topic. Unless there's anything else you guys had to say.
No, I'm fine. I think, we've covered it.
We've covered it all. Exactly.
We've done it.
We've done it. Good job, Norm. You really
Did it.
came through on this, man. I was worried, but
I was
really,
worried.
you get.
Yeah. Well, you were an asshole to start off the show.
I
so-
was, and I
Which
played
that's
my
no
role.
surprise.
I played my role perfectly.
Yeah.
You've done it.
I've done it in Shakespearean style. Well, of course, we are more than just Boomsies, aren't we, Landon?
Sure.
We are the gaming historian today, of course.
right.
But then we're also Substance TV, which is our site that we do lots of other stuff. We have some great articles talking about video games and kind of everything we do here, but
Yep. Same
in a
stuff,
little
video
different
games,
way.
comic books.
Yeah,
Lots of Batman posts.
lots of Batman posts, as you see here, because we do love Batman. Nothing wrong with a little Batman love.
Batman is Mario's sister.
Really?
Yeah. Did you know?
I
that?
didn't know. Someone was telling me they read that on
That's-
Wikipedia the other day.
Yeah, I read that
That's an
there too.
interesting
That's
fact.
really cool.
Wow.
I do have a serious question for you though. This is
Okay.
going to be kind of for every interview we do, we need to ask this question. This will be our
This will be
Boomsies
the
question.
every
All right,
interview.
I need to
In question.
prepare myself. Okay.
Who would win in a fight between Batman and Optimus Prime?
Batman and Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
Serious thoughts.
Serious thought.
Seriously?
Not messing around. Serious.
Optimus Prime.
Really?
Yeah.
Optimus Prime, he's a
Yeah.
robot.
This is something that he
I
and
did-
I can unequivocally agree upon.
Batman just throws some kind of like cool
EMP device.
EMP gadget. He's like, blah, 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 blah. He takes out the Allspark and he's gone.
Who would win in a fight between Optimus Prime and Superman then?
Probably Superman.
Okay. Batman trumps Superman.
Batman did beat Superman. So
Oh,
Batman
you can't
greater
base
than
it on that one
Superman.
thing,
Superman
though.
greater than Optimus Prime.
You can't be.
Well, you
that.
gotta say, yeah. If
I'm sorry.
Batman,
Look, I like giant robots. So I'm gonna root for the giant.
You're gonna root for the
Alright,
giant
that's
robots,
cool. You're
even if
pretty
he dies.
cool. Awesome.
If anyone has noticed in my videos, I have the Robotech Protoculture collection. No one's commented on it, and I can't believe it. I put it in
Well,
all
now
my
they
videos.
will.
Really?
I love Robotech.
I think Robotech's awesome
It
too.
is amazing.
What's Samurai Center? Let's see this. Batman was in Mortal Kombat. Kratos was in Mortal Kombat.
Oh yeah, he posted this.
Kratos
one.
was in Soul Calibur.
Yeah.
Link was in Soul Calibur. Link was in Brawl. Snake was in Brawl. Snake was in Dream Mix TV. Optimus Prime was in Dream Mix TV. There's a connection. It's like 6
It's
degrees
the
of Kevin Bacon,
Yeah.
except with Batman
6 degrees of Optimus Prime.
of Optimus Prime. Wow.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
I'd read that book. Yeah, I saw that post. I'm very impressed by that. So, Batman wins via logic. Ooh.
Yeah, it's the transitive property.
Green Lantern versus Iron Man. Oh, Green Lantern, no question. That isn't even a question at all.
So, when does Fun with Tales premiere?
Fun with Tales is going to premiere right after next week's episode, just right after this is over. We're going to go right into it. Fun with Tales, and you dressed up that.
Here we go. Howard the Duck versus
Robin.
Robin, gee.
Robin is awesome.
Howard the Duck.
Which Robin though? You got to be specific. Tim Drake.
Chris
Tim Drake would
O'Donnell.
win.
Chris O'Donnell.
Ooh, yeah! Nice!
Yeah,
I like how you brought that in.
Yeah, Chris-
I thought,
Chris
how
O'Donnell.
can we bring in Batman Return, or
Nipples.
Batman and Robin? How can we bring Batman and Robin the movie, Nipples, into here?
Nipples.
And you did it.
I did it.
Congratulations. You won the contest of the night, Norm. You
Thank
passed
you.
the test. Very
Okay,
good.
who would win Mario versus Link?
Link.
You know, Mario's a jumpy little guy.
But Link,
Can Link get to him?
he's got the sword.
He
got
does.
boomerang.
He's got a boomerang. He's got bombs.
Mario's got fire. Tanuki suit.
He's
Throw
got
fire at him.
he's got the Triforce.
He does.
He does.
Granted, if Mario has
Mario,
the star.
Mario's star power.
But that's only temporary. The Triforce is forever.
Mario's got Luigi.
I have to go with Link just so my
Oh, we're
girlfriend does
bringing
not
in
kill
other
me.
people. Oh,
Yes.
we got to call the Boomsies phone.
Oh, here we go.
Hello, you've called the Boomsies phone. Who are you talking to?
Ian.
Hey, Ian, what's up, bud? How you doing again?
Hey, I just have a question for Norm. Where did you come up with the name MC Frosticles for your YouTube name?
MC Frosticles. It's actually Mick Frosticles, like McDonald's.
Oh, okay.
Mick Frosticles.
McFrosticles.
Yeah, actually, it's
Is that
from
a
high
disease
school.
you have?
It was no disease.
This-
It was from high school. It's my AOL Instant Messenger name from back in high school when people used AOL. You know.
Wow, I remember AOL as a messenger. Yeah. And what inspired McFrosticles?
I got it from my brother.
And why did he call you McFrosticles?
He didn't call me that. He just said the word, and I thought it was a cool word.
Just one day he said, "Dad, McFrosticles."
Yeah, something like that. I mean, it's really all it is. It has no significant.
I was gonna say, I was
meaning
hoping
at
there was like
all.
some deep meaning, like it
No.
means the frost of my cold heart tills the land of my burning soul.
Yeah, MC
No.
Frosticles, McFrosticles, call it whatever you want. It's not important at all.
Okay. Well, you heard it here first.
That's my YouTube name though, so
Yes, go check out it. And by the way, go check Norm out, the Gaming Historian. Of course, www.thegaminghistorian.com or just Gaming Historian. It's the Gaming
it's
Historian.
thegaminghistorian.com.
TheGamingHistorian.com with a sexy logo, by the way. Let me tell you,
Very.
it's quite a sexy logo he's got there. And his newest episode, which is right now over RetroWare TV.
It is now available on retrowaretv.com. It'll be on YouTube in a few days.
Okay, so check it out over Little Samson, and yeah, we very much Roo. I do love the logo. Yes, very nice. But we do appreciate you coming on here,
Thank you.
taking
And
all the time to drive here.
I flew here
You flew here
by helicopter.
by helicopter.
Yeah.
That's a fast helicopter.
Well, Optimus Prime gave me a ride.
Oh. Now I know why you have this connection to Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
It all makes sense. Wow.
No, and I do want to plug my website one more time.
Yes, go plug it.
I'm doing blog posts now, so if you need your gaming history fix, every Wednesday and Friday I write a blog post about something interesting in video games. So
And you
check it
also, on the website, have a new little podcast.
yeah, it's
Talking
just
about that.
something fun. It's my best friend. It's hard to talk when I
Your
hear
breast
myself.
friend?
Yeah,
Your breast friend.
It's hard
You can
to
take those out.
okay.
Dude.
It's hard to talk like when
Oh,
you hear yourself.
Ian, Are you still there?
You're still on the
Ian.
phone.
I am so sorry. We went off into La La Land. I am
Oh,
sorry.
it's okay.
Did you have any other questions?
Yeah, any more questions?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
All right.
Well, thank you for listening to us blather.
Thanks.
All right, bud. See ya.
Thanks, Ian.
I kept looking down at the phone. I'm like, wait, that's going. He's still on the phone.
We're like 5 hours later. Anyway, good to see you. Yeah.
Why did we not get any more calls?
I don't know. It's so weird.
So yeah, it was hard to speak when you
Hard to
hear
speak.
yourself
I hear you.
talking.
I know what you're saying.
But on the what was I saying? The podcast.
The podcast, level
yeah,
7.
it's my best friend growing up. We grew up playing video games, so we just talk about stuff in the news. We have a main topic every week. It's
But
like
it's
a
nice and quick fire. That's the thing I like
quick
about
fire,
it.
2
Real
minute,
quick
2
fire.
minutes each topic. We don't
Yep.
babble on. So
It's not
good
some
stuff.
weird like hour and a half show where they just keep going. That'd be stupid, huh? Who'd watch that? Not me.
who would watch like an hour and a half long?
I know,
show?
like video show where like 3 idiots just
Yeah.
blathering about games.
Now, do you guys have anything coming out soon that might be kind of cool?
We do. We're gonna wait. We're gonna wait and talk about that next.
We've got
episode.
some ideas, but it's
It's-
before production.
It is
so
before production, but we are.
there's something cool. We've kind of teased it on our Facebook page.
Yeah,
with some
but you'll
new
be seeing more
illustrations,
about that in the weeks to come. And the next week topic's going to be a little bit of surprise too, so you want to turn out for next week. And I think that's really about it.
Yeah, be sure to like us on our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter.
Oh, we got one more
Oh,
call.
we got another call. See, I
Let's
love these
take
calls
it.
This will be our last call. For
the last call for the night. Who are we talking to?
Hi, it's Fabian again. I talked earlier.
Yeah, what's up, bud?
Okay, I actually have another question for Norman.
Sure.
I wanted to know. I saw earlier that your when you had the gaming historian and you were back in that area where it was like you did something about the Dex drive.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
he
Dex
got you on the
drive?
Dex drive.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually noticed how that was like hardware and stuff, and I actually wanted to know. I actually earlier, like a little bit earlier around this month, I have this cousin, and he gave me these controllers and everything for the PS1,
Mhm.
and I actually noticed one of them was a turbo controller, but it didn't say Sony anywhere. It was from apparently a company called Mad Cat.
Mad Cats, yeah, they made a lot of third-party controllers and accessories. Yeah, they did memory cards too.
It's from what I've heard, they made a lot of hardware and stuff, and one of them was like back then they made the unofficial PS2 and PS1 controls, and I actually want to know because I noticed he did the disc drive. Once again, it's hardware. So I actually wanted to know more about Mad Cats, because that's actually kind of an interesting thing, because I've always wondered to myself, I've always played a lot of games, but there's always been like something, like some sort of hardware that, I don't know, a company like Nintendo or Genesis, they always, like back then they had like the Wii Zapper or the Photon gun or whatever it was for Sega. And I've always wondered, like, what would be, what was up with Mad Cats? I've never heard of them, but then when I did a little research on it, I found out that they're like some sort of, I guess they're like a hardware company for like video games and everything. And I wondered, like, why would they make controllers and everything for PS2 and PS1?
Well, I don't know if I would do just an episode on Mad Cats. It would probably be
About third-party
third-party
peripherals.
accessories.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was very common back
I know
then.
it's like I know it's third-party stuff and everything, and yeah, it actually really was. But like I said, I actually want to know whatever happened to them, because I actually really like the designs of some of them. For example,
Mad
I
Cats is
got
still
one that's it's like a big red turbo controller, but it was for the PS1. And the funny thing about it is that if you've ever seen those like early looks for the PS3, you would see that one of them looks like a weird, straight boomerang kind of look, and that's exactly what the PS1 Mad Catz controller looked like. And I was wondering, like, you know, and so I'm getting off topic here, but I just wanted to know, you know, like whatever happened to them, because I really like their products.
Mad Catz is still around, if I'm...
Yeah, they're still around.
Correctly.
Still strong, making a lot of joysticks and third-party accessories.
Yeah.
So.
Still around.
Well, cool, man. Well, thank you.
I had no idea, like, you know, what happened to them, because I don't follow a lot of stuff nowadays. I'm actually really lost half the time with what's going on around in the gaming world. Unless it's like a new release of a game, I don't focus on that stuff. But then it just hit me. I actually wanted to know, like, you know, what happened to Mad Catz, and I just wanted to ask Norman, if you're still listening, you know, if you could maybe find out for me, and like, you know, send it to me over email, or I really wouldn't think that it was like...
They're definitely still around.
Go to their website.
Go to
madcats.com.
Yeah,
go to madcats.com, and you can check out more information about them.
Yep, and you can actually, like I mentioned before, contact them, ask them about them.
Ask them their questions, see what they say.
Okay.
All right, bud. Well, hey, thanks for the phone call.
Thank you.
I just want to say thanks again for taking the call, because I have to tell you, actually, every time I call, I'm literally terrified.
Well, it's okay, man. Don't worry about it. No big deal.
All right,
bud.
Thanks for taking the call again.
No problem.
I guess I'll see you soon.
See ya.
Thanks for calling, man.
All right. Well, thank you all for watching. I think we've had a good episode again. Thank you, Norm.
Thanks.
And we'll see you next week.
Fun with Tails.
10 p.m. So
remember, everyone, bring your microphones. You have to talk into the headset.
You do have to talk into the headset.
Tell me what I should do.
All live on camera.
Could go bad.
Yeah.
All right. Also, for Brian
and Norman,
Landon.
We'll see you all next week.
Thanks,
for another
everybody.
episode of Boomsies.
Take care.